What's up, everyone? We are back at Midnight Manor at Fantastic Fest 2025. This time around, I got Mary Bronstein in the studio celebrating If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Hi.
I'll just repeat what I told you before we started rolling. I walked out of your movie depleted, utterly exhausted, and you earned every ounce of it. Oh
Thank
my,
you.
this film.
In a good way, you mean?
In the best possible way.
You had nothing left.
Congratulations. And seriously, your command over the style of this film was wildly impressive.
Wow. Thank you so much. What a nice thing to say.
I mean it. And I'm going to dig into all the details in a moment. But because we are at Fantastic Fest, I wanted to start with a fun genre question for you. If you had the opportunity to join the horror film franchise of your choice and direct a new installment, what franchise would you pick and why?
Well, we talked before we were rolling. We talked about I love horror movies.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. Because do you know why? A lot of the best franchises, they take a turn, they go wrong. They go wrong. So I would do a corrective.
Ooh.
I'd take it back. I'd take gotta say Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd take that back. I'd take it all the way back. Because it went wrong.
There's one particular one that I will say went very, very wrong. There's a couple really special ones in there.
Oh, 1 and 2, fabulous.
Have you seen the full franchise? You have to watch Dream Warriors and also New Nightmare. I think New Nightmare is one of the most genius horror sequel ideas.
New Nightmare. I've never seen New Nightmare. But when I was in college, I went to NYU, and so the video store was Kim's Video.
I went to NYU. I know Kim's very well.
Yeah. So you know the story I'm about to tell will make sense to you. I went there, and I was like, I'm gonna need all the Nightmare on Elm Street ones. I'm just gonna eat all of them. And so the guy behind the counter is like, why? And I was like, don't ask me questions. Just give me the tapes. So I got them, and I kept them too long. And so I got they're on, age myself here, on the voicemail, on the answering machine in my dorm room.
Oh, wow.
Press play. Hi, this is so-and-so from Kim's Video. You're late on returning Nightmare on Elm Street's part 1 through 8. We're gonna need all those parts back. And I was like, that's so embarrassing. And the guy loved leaving that message.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be the franchise, because I think it's I love that movie. I love it.
Endless creative possibilities with that franchise.
Yes.
I think that is a franchise that could go on and on forever, justifiably.
Because Freddy is one of the best horror concepts to ever be invented.
Without a doubt.
Because you got to go to sleep.
Without a doubt.
You got to go to sleep.
It's truly horrifying because you can't really fight it. No. I love it. I always call this the manifestation space. One day I will see you direct a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and I look forward to that day.
I wouldn't be mad about it if someone offered me that.
Bring it on. Bring it on. But you are here at Fantastic Fest celebrating If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You right now. And one particular thing I did want to make a point to ask, because I love Fantastic Fest. I always hesitate to call it a horror film festival because I feel like we box horror into like one very specific and narrow thing. And I often use the word genre instead to broaden it. And your movie, I think, fits in most people's definition, maybe of genre, but someone might be like, that's not horror. I think it's a form of horror. What does it mean to you to celebrate that movie here at this festival?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. It's something I've been thinking about a lot because I'm also going to play at Beyond Fest. And so
what a wonderful 1-2 punch.
Yes. And so, next week. And so I've been thinking about that a lot because, when I was writing and making the movie, I was not thinking about what genre it was. It was just an expression. And I'm using, though, I use language in the cinematic language in the movie, taken from horror, taken from thrillers, taken from surrealist movies and absurdist movies. And so I can say that there is stuff in the movie where I went back, it goes from the high to the low. I can tell you how, Roomwell is in the movie, but I can also tell you how Poltergeist is in the movie. And, for me, this movie, at the heart of the movie is the idea of trauma, and the idea that you can't run away from trauma. You can't pretend, you can't deny it. Your trauma will get you. It will get you. However that ends up being, it'll get you. You can't get away from it. It's just like you can't get away from yourself. There, wherever you go, there you are, right? And that's terrifying. That's terrifying. And that's the terror. It's the existential terror that that my movie, that is at the heart of my movie. And I think that people are really responding to in the way that you said.
You're so good at creating that kind of claustrophobia too. It's like, as you were explaining that, I'm like, yes, I did feel trapped in those kinds of horrors.
Yes. And it's a horror of the mind. It's like, and you can't, if you're living a hell in your own mind, you can't, there's nowhere to go. You're trapped.
All right. I want to talk about so many details, but I want to give you a big, broad story question to start. This is my favorite story question to ask because I love hearing about how ideas evolve along the way. Can you tell us what idea number one was, the thing that started this all, but then also if you had a break story moment, something you came up with along the way that made this movie feel whole and ready to go for you?
You're going to love the answer to that second part. So basically the idea started with the fact that I was having existential crisis, where I was in a situation where, as a parent to my daughter who was going through some very complicated issues, I felt myself disappearing. I felt myself disappearing into the task of caring for her and trying to get past this moment. She did, and she's 15, and she's wonderful, and she loves horror movies, by the way. Her favorite is The Shining.
Oh, good taste.
So anyway, that's just an aside. But anyway, it started there, and it quite literally started. We shared a hotel room together for 8 months. We were demented roommates in this hotel room, and I didn't do the things that Linda does. My escape was like the bathroom at night. I would just go in the bathroom, turn on the light, awful, shitty hotel room, fluorescent bathroom lighting, sitting on the tile floor, scarfing candy and disgusting, like binge eating like Jack in the Box. It was like really a situation. Cheap wine. And that is the, and I started writing the script in that bathroom. So when I think of writing the script, I taste all those things in my mouth. That's where it started, right? And so the bad version of that movie, I was like, oh, I need to really, I need to find, there's no movie that expresses this thing. So that's what I want to do. That's what I set out to do. But then it's not autobiographical. It's not a literal thing. The bad version would be like a bad Lifetime movie, right? I abstracted it out. The thing that I found that I was like, this makes the movie what it is the hamster. And once I came up with the idea about the hamster, I was like, and the hamster's going to be puppets. And I don't care if they look like puppets, because they are puppets, because you can't direct a hamster. That is where I broke it. And once I did that, once I thought of that and did that, then I realized that this movie has no rules. This movie has no creative rules. You know what I mean? And that was it.
You're right. I love that answer. Also, because you brought up NYU, it immediately just brought me back to my first year at NYU when I shared a hamster with my roommate, and it was one of the worst decisions I've ever made.
I had a
tortoise.
I had a pet tortoise in my room.
Do we all go through that?
We all had weird pets. That you had, like, I want a weird pet in my dorm room. What is that? I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Do boys do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I had a tortoise. His name was Chachi.
I had a guinea pig named Chachi. What is this? What is this?
I don't know.
I'm freaked out right now.
We're in a weird moment. We're in a weird Lynchian moment right now.
Oh, that's absolutely wild. I'll veer in a complete different direction now. I have to highlight Rose here. Oh, there was something that you said in the press notes that I really wanted to bring up.
About Rose?
It was something to the effect of when you wrote the script, you couldn't imagine an actor actually willing to do it. Why couldn't you? Because when I see the finished film, I see like an acting goldmine for someone. So what gave you pause?
Well, so I wrote the script and then I realized I just wrote a giant check that an actress has got to cash, right? And it can't bounce. So like the script the story and the movie is asking whoever's going to be the performer to do things that might garner negative reactions, that might lose an audience, that might have somebody say, I don't like that they did that. That means I don't like this. Because sometimes people get that confused when they watch movies. That you're allowed to not like something that somebody does, and you can still love the movie. You're allowed to not like a character, and you can still love a movie. Those things are not scary to me. So I thought, first of all, this asks a lot of a person, a lot, emotionally and physically. It's a very physical role, very physical. And I thought, number one, who would want to do this because of the risk of being, the dreaded, unlikable woman, which is a myth that Hollywood has made up. Some people are, people are always, and we encounter them in life, and we should encounter them in movies. And it's a empathy test. And it's also, I thought, who can do this? Because you've seen the movie, so you understand this. I use humor in the movie in a very specific way. And sometimes I'm on a cut or on a heel, I'm asking for a cry and a laugh. And that is a rare performer who can do that. And Rose Byrne was always number one on my list of who I thought could do it and who I wanted to do it. And I feel so lucky that I got her because she can do, she has impeccable comedic instincts and knowledge about comedy, of how to do that, how to utilize that tool. But she's also an incredible technical, proper actor. She's done Medea at BAM. Like, she is not a joke. So with her skills. And so I was like, she can do this. She can do this. Thank God. I mean, who else? When you watch the movie, could you picture anybody else? It's her, right?
Very much her. I have so many follow-up questions. One of the first ones that popped up in my brain is, what is the biggest difference between how you pictured that character when you were first writing her on the page and then what happened to her when she landed in Rose's hands?
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. So when I was writing it, it was a total blank face. Total blank face. I didn't have, for everybody. I didn't have anybody in mind. I didn't know when you're writing on the script, it's an idea. The person isn't real. It's an idea, right? So so then when you're working with the performer, the thing that you're doing is breathing life into the idea and taking an idea and making it a full human being. That's not accomplished in every movie by every performer. But so the idea was this woman who was like a total disaster, is burning bridges everywhere she goes, is a dumpster fire, but is in a total crisis. So she deserves to be somewhat of a disaster. But what I found with Rose in the work that we did together is Rose was very, very interested in getting into, well, who was she though? She would ask me, she asked me one of the first things, who was this woman before this happened? And I said to her, I don't know. I didn't think about that. And so we thought about that together. Not like we drop into this story, right? But who was this woman 5 years ago? Who is this woman when her daughter wasn't sick? Who is this woman when she doesn't feel like the whole universe is piling on top of her? There's some chaos there that's always there. And she's not an easy person to live with. And she's, has all these traits that are steadfast, but then it's sort of like that's what happens to a person like that when they're in total crisis mode. And it was discovering that and doing that work with Rose, which was all Rose. That was her question, and it led to that. And it really made, this is, when you're watching the movie, that character is not an idea, that's a person. And that was how we got there, and that was the difference.
I love highlighting backstory work when we don't see it directly in a film, but we can feel it informing every ounce of a character and their world.
And you can feel it. A viewer can sniff it out if that's not there.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And I feel it here big time. There's one other thing about Rose that I really want to ask you, and I always call it, again, this is a manifestation space. This is not a jinxing space, but there's a pretty significant amount of Oscar buzz for her. I know, for one, I am very much rooting for her to be honored with what she does in your film.
Me too.
I do want to know, like, what does that mean to you? Because she gives the performance, but like, you are the one who tees her up for success with something like this.
I mean, you know, that's a really, really, really good question that I don't think people think about. You know, there's different types of directors and ways that directors work with actors. I consider Rose to be a true creative partner with me on this movie. There could be no other way to make this movie because she is the movie. And we worked very, very, very closely together. And we crafted we created Linda, as of, like I said, from the page to a person together. I really considered her, and we talked about this, my emotional avatar for the real life situation that I was talking about. And so it's very personal to me. And so she knew that and took that into the performance with her. And so we were like in lockstep with each other. So what I told her when we worked on the film, we prepared, I prepared with her like one might do more like in the theater, not film. We had a luxury of time by accident, just by her schedule, and she availed herself to me because she wanted to be very serious about this performance because she's that type of artist. And she would come over to my apartment 3 times a week for like 6 weeks. We'd sit at my kitchen table, we'd have tea and snacks, and we'd go through the script, and we created the character. And one of the first things I told her was, I'm gonna get you some trophies. And she already got one. She won the Silver Bear for Best Performance at Berlinale, which is no small thing.
Yep.
It's huge. And she's gonna get some more. And I want everything for her. But I'm an actor's director. And she is a dream. And when she accepted the Silver Bear, all she talked about was me. And I feel like she's the type that we know the work. A win for her is a win for me. And what I want for her is for her to get more of these types of roles, and for her to get the recognition that she deserves as really one of the most talented actors that we have working today. And so for me, oh my gosh, just thinking about her winning something makes me want to cry.
Such a beautiful
It'd be amazing.
The movie overall deserves a whole lot of praise. I will do everything in my power to keep speaking that into existence for her as the season progresses.
Thank you so much.
There's someone else in your movie that I have to highlight because
I
was shocked by Conan O'Brien. I was also just shocked by, I guess, how you wrote the character, and I feel like you used something of the effect in the press notes where it's almost like the idea of exploring like a therapist having a therapist, and it be like a stacking doll. My sister is a therapist, and she sees a therapist, so I'm just like endlessly fascinated by that.
Who's the guy? Who's the top guy?
But exactly, yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe the research that went into crafting a character in that situation and what it was about him that signaled to you like he can go there for this?
Oh yeah. I mean, so I've been in and out of therapy since I'm 14 years old. I know from therapy. So I've had good therapists, I've had bad therapists, I've had everything in between. I also have a master's degree in psychology randomly. Because at one point I was like, I'm never going to make a living.
Where's your undergrad degree, in film or
in theater?
Okay. Interesting.
I went to Tisch.
It's a good pairing.
Yeah, I went to So and then I went to Columbia and did a psychology degree.
What is this? I
you
went to
go to
NYU
Columbia?
undergrad and then I went to Columbia.
Because it's New Yorkers. That's what New Yorkers do.
Yeah.
Where else are you gonna go? You gonna leave New York?
No, for real.
So yeah. So so what I wanted to get at is the therapist, that type of therapist who is a brick wall, who has his boundaries so fucking buttoned up tight that he will not betray those boundaries, even when it might be clinically appropriate, right? He is not giving her what she needs. And I also thought that in my mind, before the movie even starts, he's done. He's done. He's already done. And he just doesn't know how to get out yet. And then he gets out in the worst way, which I want the viewers to see. The worst way. And I consider, every movie, movies are movies. And the love story in this movie is the therapist arc. And I don't want to go through the stages of it, but you've seen the movie, you know. That's the love story. It's very untraditional, but it functions in that way.
It's so effective.
And Conan, I've been a fan of his, since his original late night show came out when I was 14 years old. And it was the first thing. I'm a huge comedy person, always was. And when his show came out, I was like, this is for me. This show was made specifically for me. The humor, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was on television. It was so loose and radical and just ideas and stuff that didn't make sense. And I couldn't believe it was on television. And he's always been that guy for me. And so one night I was thinking, I didn't know who was going to play a therapist. And I was listening to his podcast and he was interviewing David Letterman. And these are two guys that I know these guys' voices, since middle school, or David Letterman since middle school, Conan since I'm 14. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, if either one of these guys gave me advice, I would totally listen to it. These guys are calming. These guys have these voices that are so calming to me because of that they've been in my life in this weird way. And then I was like, David Letterman has a kind of bitingness to him that I love, but it's not right for the thing. I was like, Conan. Yeah. And I was scared to say it out loud. It's so weird to say it. But when I did say it, A24 was like, let's go, let's try it. And I had a meeting with him and he said, you know what? You came to me at the exact right moment of my life. I'm in a moment of my life where I've been on TV every day for 30 years. I don't want to do that again. I love my podcast. I'm in a place of radical yes. And this came to me and I will say yes. And he said, if I turn out to suck, you can fire me. We'll still be friends. It's okay. I'm like, you won't suck. But he performed some things in the movie that as I was writing them, I thought were unperformable. And I'll have to work this out with the actor when we get there. But he did it. And I knew that he could do it. I had an intuition that he can do it because I think that comedy and drama they're two sides of the same coin. It's about timing. It's about when to give and when to take back. I think that people that can do comedy well, naturally, can do drama. I don't think that the opposite is always true. I don't think that just because someone can do drama really well, they can do comedy. But there's something in him where I was like, he can access this, he can do this. It's so different for him too, that I think it'll be creatively exciting. And it was, and he nailed it. And he's a proper actor in this movie. Like, he is not Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
He is this guy. He doesn't even look like Conan O'Brien on purpose. But one of the first things I said in our first meeting, I was like, just so you know, the hair, we're not doing the poof. not showing up in the movie. You're going to be this other guy, and I'm not lighting you or making you up for television. You're going to look different. You're going to look more like you look like in real life. And, you know, he was like, well, that's terrifying, but okay. You know, he, like I said about Rose, he availed himself to me completely creatively. Whatever, I went out to LA, and he describes it like in the movie Rocky, where he's that training montage. But I went out to LA for a week, and we worked for hours every day for a week. And then we continued working, but that was like our first session, our first thing. And it was like, I was like not fucking around. I was like, we're doing this. And then I realized like why. I was like, do the other people in the office know why I'm coming here? He was like, no, I haven't told them why. And I was like, so why do they think this woman is like coming into your office every day for 3 hours, closing the door and then leaving? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, it was funny to him. And I was like, wait, I don't, okay, I'll go with it. But now they know. Now they know.
He's so
good.
I don't have time to highlight your entire ensemble because I gotta let you go to do
They're
more
all
interviews.
Excellent. They're all excellent.
Really, I'd be more sad about this interview ending, but I know we're gonna cross paths. You have so much to celebrate. I am so happy for you. Thank you for coming by today and sharing some of your experience.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your support for the film. I appreciate
it. Always, it won't stop.
Love it. Thank you.